with the increase of SST, uh, things will be very, very interesting moving forward. So, in this episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to invest in the stock market. And but before that, let us maybe talk about the other asset classes out there, lah. Right? I mean, let's be very honest. Right now, there's so many different types of investment platforms out there. You got robo advisory, right? And you have multiple types of robo advisory. Some of them are conventional, some of them are Sharia. And on top of that, you also have different mutual funds and also unit trust. But again, why invest in stocks, right? Why do I choose stocks over all of this different asset classes and also the traditional mutual fund or the unit trust, right? Basically, long story short, I can actually beat any of the robo advisories any day, right? And I think you guys can actually see some of my examples, and you guys can actually see my portfolio. I've always been transparent, and I never, never hit anything lah, so I wanted to, just say it as it is lah. I mean, that's my portfolio, and and you guys can see it, right? So I think amongst my biggest winners right now would probably be the hotel stock. I think it's Impiana, right? I doubled with that particular stock. And not only that, if you guys notice, I actually bought a couple of poultry stocks, and even that is already is already in the black already. So I'm actually quite happy with my portfolio this year. Is kind of making money. But I think more importantly is let's talk about my philosophy on stock picking, right? And hopefully with this particular episode, you too can actually benefit from this, and you too can actually take a couple of tips from this particular video, and hopefully you can also make amazing returns for this year, right? So I think let's get to the very basics, right? Let us first talk about stocks and what is a stock. I think all in all, how I look at stocks is basically a share, or another word for stocks is a share, right? And basically, when you invest in a share, you are actually buying a small little portion or small little percentage of the company, right? And if you were to notice, right, my style of investing is that every time when I invest, I always remind myself that, basically I'm a small little shareholder, and if the company actually gets more profitable, I as a shareholder would benefit from this, right? Simple, isn't it? So right now, let me give you an example, right? Let us say you and me, right? We decide to, both of us work in the same company for many years, right? And say the company actually goes through a VSS, and post the VSS, both of us have a bit of money, right? And you fortunately managed to actually save a little bit more during your working career. Me, on the other hand, let us say that I need to actually continue working lah, even though I got the VSS, right? And I decide to open a teh tarik store, right? And say you already know that I'm actually pretty good in making teh tarik, right? So the first 1 or 2 weeks you pass by the teh tarik stall, you notice that, I set up the whole stall, right? On top of that, you see that I have one table and maybe 3 or 4 chairs, right? And at that point in time, you can see it's really crowded, and people are actually, going over there, right? And you could see that I'm very busy, cannot cope, right? It's there's a long line, and then even the table also is full. People want to sit, also cannot sit, right? And then you tell yourself, actually this guy is doing not bad, right? Not bad. And then maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the road, after that first visit, you come visit the store again, and you see that right now the line is even longer, right? And maybe they have to line up almost 1 block just to drink teh tarik, right? And you're wondering yourself, wow, this must be an amazing business to invest in, right? And since you and me are friends, right? You said, Adnan, why don't I invest a little bit of my money so that you can actually buy more tables and buy more chairs, right? So that you can actually expand your business. And please get yourself a waiter. Please get a waiter, right? So you can actually focus on the important, which is making teh tarik, and someone else actually takes the orders, right? So you tell me that you want to invest maybe 10K lah, basically, right? And then I was like, yeah, okay, why not? You know, you want to invest in 10K. So with 10K, let us assume that you have 50% stake in this new company or this new teh tarik making company, which is this company lah, basically, right? And I use that money to actually buy another 3 or 4 more tables, and then after that, and I buy a couple more chairs. On top of that, I hire staff around me, right? So let us say before your investment, I used to make 1K per month, right? And after your investments, after I already put in more tables and chairs, after I got myself a waiter, after I can be more focused towards making teh tarik and not getting orders, right? The revenue of the company right now, where you and me are shareholders, maybe is 4K, right? So the investment actually helped increase the value of the company, and how the value has increased is by increasing revenues of that particular company. So right now, let us say you own 50% of the company, and as I mentioned, the earnings for that company is already 4K. So right now, you will get 2K as an investor, and I'll get another 2K as, I guess, as the person operating the shop lah, basically, right? And this is how the very basics of stocks, right? So always remember, when you buy a stock, you are basically buying a company, or you're basically buying a small little share of the company, right? So I think, let me show you a couple of examples, right? And let me walk through with you why I bought these companies and how these companies are actually doing, right? And I think if any of you have been following me for quite some time, you will definitely know these names, and I've been talking about these names almost all the time, right? So let me just flip the screen for everyone to see. Okay. Right. So this is one of the companies. Sorry, let me put the mic here. So this is one of the companies which I bought, right? So during the whole pandemic, it actually went down to 30-ish cents, right? And at that point in time, there was a major sell-off, especially amongst the transport people, right? And at that point in time, I told myself, I said, oh, this is a very good time to actually buy transport stocks. And I think many of you guys knew lah that I didn't buy, I guess, the airlines so much lah, right? But that said, I knew that transport companies would have had a major sell-off lah, right? So right now, this was about 34 cents. And after they have already opened up the borders and whatnot, people started traveling. And when people started traveling, you can see the stock price actually move up. Let me give you another example, right? So with this is, I think I already put this on my on some of my videos, right? About how I actually picked, or how I actually bought this particular stock called Impiana. Right now it's called Magma Group, right? They renamed themselves, right? So basically, how I actually found this particular stock was when I actually entered this stock, I think it was 12 cents, and right now it's about 24. The high was 24 cents. I actually doubled my money on this one, right? But that being said, you know, always remember that you're actually buying a small little business, right? So let me put this thing on the holder. So I think all in all, you guys can see my philosophy, right? I mean, I've seen some people actually talk a lot about, you know, looking at charts and looking at, you know, these complicated charts, and then they come up with, you know, oversell, overbought, and then you can see all these bar charts and whatnot. For me, I'm a more common sense investor. I would like to actually look at the old school way of investing, right? And this old school way was actually Warren Buffett's way. It's called value investing. And when I actually joined the investment banking industry, when I was an equity analyst, right? My job is only one thing, just to find stocks, right? We were trained to actually look at companies. We will look at the financial statements. We will look at we will look at the income. We will look at the products, whether the products are very good, whether there's a high demand for the particular products. From there, you already kind of know whether the company will do well or not, right? So I think in the first two examples, you can see that what with regards to paratransit, how I actually invested in that is like I knew that there was a pent up demand, right? If people cannot travel for 2 or 3 years, definitely they will feel the itch of traveling. Definitely they want to go out, right? And I knew that when they started opening the borders, they will not open the borders for the whole world yet. So that means they open up the borders around Malaysia first, right? So I took a position lah that they will open up the Malaysian borders first, and if we were to open up the Malaysian borders, right? Like I said, I did not enter that much in airlines. I actually entered more in the bus companies lah, right? I would assume that people would want to travel, or the demand of travel will just spike up. And lo and behold, after the whole pandemic, people started traveling, revenue started coming in, profit started coming in, and then after that, this company started making a bit more money. And that's where you as a shareholder would make a bit of money, right? And the same thing with regards to hotels also, right? Whereby we could see that as last year, right? When for me lah, this is how I picked that particular stock. When I actually went out, I actually went to I just went go on a holiday lah. Every other once a month, or every so often lah, right? And every time I went on a small little trip, right, I would see hotels either almost fully booked or fully booked. One of two lah. I never seen hotels empty lah last year. So I was thinking to myself, I said, hey, this is a good opportunity for to buy lah, whatever to buy lah, right? Or this is a good opportunity for me to invest in. Right now, I see this particular trend. So what I did was I actually went into Google. I googled the keyword lah, hotels in Malaysia, right? And then after that, I was like, there's this particular hotel. So I just took a position lah,